Hello, brothers and sisters. Come on in. Water is fine. Let's talk about wellness health, keeping ourselves healthy, wealthy, and wise, as Ben Franklin said. So come on. It's true. We are created to be healthy, filled with wellness, and loving. So let's enjoy every day. And I'll tell you some interesting ways that we can do that. Even in a strange time, in a strange world, even if you're surrounded by strange people, it's all good. And I'll tell you some of the ways that I stay happy and keep my health strong and my wellness flowing. So I'm Andrew, and welcome to my Hiking Druid channel. And as the name implies, I've been hiking for a long time, and I've taken some overnight trips, some many day hikes, a week-long trip or two, and a long hike that lasted most of a month, where I went up the Appalachian Trail and had some great adventures. Did the whole section in Maine from New Hampshire up to Mount Katahdin, and changed my life. It gave me some insights into the wilderness, into how balancing it can be, and yeah. So listen, don't forget to click that thumbs up or rumble button, and please follow this channel. These things will help to get this important information out to folks in these stressful times. And I'm a wellness coach. Been doing that for over 10 years. I've studied herbs for way over 20 years. And I also was gathering herbs from the forest before they started calling it funny names. I just called it wild gathering. Now it's known as foraging, right? That's become a popular topic. So I've been doing that for 20 or 30 years. I've studied the herbs, the healing herbs, and the defense boosting herbs, and different plants, different trees. I love God, and so let's get on with this. That's where the nickname came from. It's sort of tongue-in-cheek. I have studied the Druids, the Celts, the Vikings, and so Andrew and Druid became my hiking trail name, and then that just got shortened to Druid. And I love hiking, so Hiking Druid sort of evolved into my emails and such, my email nicknames, and then so it just naturally flowed into like YouTubes and things like that. Something fell on the floor. Anyway, yeah, so thank you, and check the link right below this video. You can get a free newsletter and a free guide. I'll send you my guide I wrote, and it's about keeping your immune system strong so you and your family can continue in great wellness and health. So, there's lots going on. People get their heads sort of stuck in news cycles. Why is it called a news cycle? Well, you're chasing your tail. They try to keep everyone with false fears. I call it the drama queen media. And what they do is they try to get everybody worked into a frenzy, so you have to keep watching for more. And then based on their numbers, they can sell advertising for more money. More people means more money. And so the more dramatic they can be about things, they know through experience that, get people talking at work, get people talking at family gatherings, get people talking on the internet, and they will be stirred up to a frenzy. That's what they hope. That's what they try to do. So what we can do to counteract that is some of what I'm going to talk about as far as your wellness and health. And then that newsletter that I send out just occasionally, maybe once a month, maybe not quite. You get that, and so we can stay in touch, even if, certain sites might censor and get rid of people. We'll still be connected that way. And you can get that, and that would help a lot too for us to keep in touch with information about keeping yourself strong, different ways, different videos, links, and things like that. But like I said, that's one way that we can keep in touch and help each other. So thank you, and thanks for watching, and let's talk about this a little bit. Since most people I think that are watching this tend to be more aware of the last few years and a lot of the lies, just about everybody knows that something is very wrong, but not everybody knows the depths of the lies that we and our ancestors have been told for generations. So if you are more aware, let's say, than you were 4 or 5 years ago, of some of these truths that lead us to the truth, we need to be patient and kind to families and friends, because otherwise they're just going to want to fight us, right? They're either mentally block what you have to say, or even sometimes physically, flip out. We were all tricked at one time or another, and folks grow in awareness at differing speeds. So keep trying to guide them away from TVs and other of those brain numbing devices. Try to spend more time in the wilderness to harmonize and strengthen ourselves, regaining our original, what I call God flow, as He, our Heavenly Papa, intended our lives to be. And while I'm on that, don't forget, He says you're wondrously and beautifully made. You're created in His image. So you have a God spark of creativity within you, within each one of us. And it also connects us. It's a great commonality between all the brothers and sisters of the world. Because we all live in the world. Now, we're not necessarily dwelling in the world and obsessed with being like what the world says we're supposed to be, because we're walking in the path that Jesus teaches us, right? A lot of us are. And more so all the time as you realize the lies, you have lies and lies upon lies and disgusting things that have happened. And that points to a liar. And the liar has minions. And they are twisting the truth all the time. That's what they do. They have their evil, and then they sprinkle God's truth in it. You know, a lot of the liars, the demons, they know Bible verses better than a lot of us do. We're changing that, okay? Don't be too distracted or overwhelmed by all the silliness and the lies and the constant foolishness. Learn to laugh at the small stuff, and most of it is the small stuff. You know, don't sweat over it, laugh over it. It's meant to like build and build and build and build and keep us befuddled and keep us mesmerized and keep us silly. But you can neutralize that by becoming more aware of it. So you're deepening your discernment, you're building your relationship with God, and then through Holy Spirit, invite Jesus in to guide, not to rule, to guide you. And then we can help others and we can guide others as we walk in those footsteps as we're meant to. So yeah, learn to laugh at that stuff. It really will change the way you observe this deluge of information, and even our friends and fellow patriots and seekers of truth are, you know, reacting to all the idiot box manipulations. So, yeah, as you're trying to expose all the lies and tell the truth, we tend to just, I've noticed this a lot in the last couple of years, more and more, we're actually replacing the news. But don't be the new drama queen media. Be something different. As we replace all these falling systems, you don't want to just replace it with the same thing, but led by different people. You need to reconstruct it in a kinder, more God-honoring manner. So this is all brand new. We've never been exposed to so many lies throughout history as we are being told the truth right now. And so it is an amazing time to be alive. So also don't forget to give great thanks daily. Try to do it daily. Even write a list of things that are so good in your life. Because when you start doing that, you'll see that you are well blessed. Even the toughest day, there's a couple good things. Maybe you got to eat something that you really like. Maybe you got to go for a walk. Maybe you got to get out of bed and walk across the room. Maybe you deepened your relationship with Holy Spirit. So, yeah, remember to slow down and build those relationships like I've been talking about with Papa through the Holy Spirit of Jesus. And then you'll begin to observe with a clearer eye. And I pray a lot for clarity of vision. 2020 was clarity of vision. 2021 is even better vision than 2020. 2022 was revealing with supernatural clarity of vision. What's 2024 going to be? I think it's exposure of all the lying, of the evil, um, even exposing things about ourselves, and growth. And so it's hard to grow if you're just running in circles on a hamster wheel. You think you're going faster and you're not going anywhere. So you have to jump off the lie created hamster wheel. Stop chasing your tail and run in a straight line for a little while, and you'll get somewhere different. So we need to be aware of how tricked we've been, and also that, be loving. Don't attack other people. If there's people out there that you've followed, let's say some of the videos that they're making, and then you find that you're not as attracted to what they're saying as you were 3 years ago, well, that's fine. They've grown, you've grown. People don't always even grow the same way. They don't grow at the same speed, and they don't grow in the same direction. We're each sovereign members of mankind. That means, yes, we are all children of Papa, our Heavenly Papa, but we also are each unique high priests of our own families, of our own households. You see, that's the balancing thing. And we all have a bit of the supernatural in us, because to God, what we've always called supernatural, he calls natural. So practice slowing down. It's one of the big things they've done, is to make us so busy with inane, often ridiculously repetitive chores. Your life isn't supposed to be boring. And reality is more exciting than anything that can be done by Hollywood. If you learn to observe what's really happening, you have to clean your pineal. So you have to start drinking better water. And we all need to start doing that. And then we need to demand of our towns to stop toxifying our water. Fluoride is to stop us from being able to contact God as easily and efficiently as we're meant to be able to. It's not for your teeth, guys. Your teeth heal. Your teeth grow and heal from the inside out. So putting fluoride on the outside of your teeth is ridiculous. You end up eating it, then it goes into your system, and then it gets stored away. And it makes your pineal gland get all clogged up. They call it calcified. People didn't used to have calcified pineal glands, and now a large percentage of folks do. And that's not by accident. And you also need to learn about cleansing prayer. And also we need to be very aware of the food, or what is called food, that really isn't food at all. It's also poison. And that's most of the stuff that you get in a box or a bottle at the grocery store. Even a lot of the fresh meats and fruits and vegetables that you get at the corporation stores are highly toxified, and it's part of the plan. They're sick. See, as goodly, godly people, it's often very hard to even comprehend just how evil can be. Evil is, not can be, is. They are twisted, they are angry, they are fear-filled, and they think we should be the same thing. They are not creative. That's why they steal our creations. And they want to stop us from being the creative beings that he says we were birthed. No, we were born. We were birthed to be. Wait a minute. Born to be. See, I'm trying to get free of their mesmerizing tricks as well. And language is a huge part of that. So start being more aware of your inner voice and what you're saying to yourself, which oftentimes is things we were told by the tell-lie vision. You ever wonder why it's called an idiot box? Why is it called a boob tube? A boob is an idiot. A foolish person. So I think that's enough said about that. But yeah, clear that out by starting just a walk around the block. And then you can double it over time. Once you're feeling healthier about it, you're going to want to anyway. Then head into the woods. Sit down on a mossy rock in the middle of a stream. Don't forget, deep, calm breathing. I won't get into that. I've talked about it in other videos, and maybe it is time to do another video about how we breathe deeply. But go and look and find some of those. There's all kinds of information about how you do that down into your deep stomach, not just your chest coming out. So even that has been taught to us wrong. I mean, they're thorough. That's the thing. But evil is disgusting and terrible, and they want to inflict twistedness to our children just as soon as they can, younger and younger and younger. We're seeing that when you have these like disturbed demoniacs, which are demonic, either under attack or infested. People that are like, why? Think about, why does a man want to dress like a clown woman? Not even like a beautiful woman, but like a clown woman. Like obviously, this is a man dressed like a woman, and then way over the top. And a lot of times you'll see the horns. I mean, they're not really trying to hide it that much. Why wouldn't they want to? Why wouldn't they want to go and read to college kids? Why wouldn't they want to go and read to high school kids? Why do they want to read, and a lot of times, twisted books to the little kids as young as they can get them? Why don't they just want to do like why don't the trainees just want to go read in a transvestite circle? Have a cross-dresser club and they can all read to each other. No, they want to go after the little kids. So what used to be called mental illness wants to attach itself. These are demons, and they want to attach themselves to children. They do that by exposing them to this so-called illness, which is actually demonic attack. It's lies. Then they believe them so long that they're actually being like little puppets for Satan and the minions. Oh, but Satan doesn't exist, right? That's exactly what he spent thousands of years trying to get people to believe that. That's why he uses all the different names. And that's why they hide their rituals, or they used to. Now they're just not hiding them, right? I mean, look at the last Grammys. That was a worship the devil. The CBS people even sent the letters to that strange singer thing and said that they're ready to worship. That's just coming out. Everything that they're doing, that's why it's laughable once you get to training yourself to see this stuff. It is really funny. It is sick, and it would be dangerous if it wasn't all being exposed so we can stop it. But we need to, be patient, be loving with goodly, godly people who are still confused. If you do harm to a child, God says you're not in the family anymore. You've gone totally to the evil. So you are allowed to have righteous anger, but you are not the judge. Leave that to Daddy. Be bold. Be thankful. Be strong. And I thank you for being here. Let's try to not attack each other, because the liar, one of his ancient tricks, is divide and conquer. That's why it's two-party system, even though they're almost all exactly the same once they get, the kickback trail that they travel on. And then what? As we practice these things I've been talking about, it will be more and more balancing in your life. I think that's why Jesus said, "Follow me," and then told people to walk that straight and narrow trail that's not as often traveled. The broad, most traveled trail tends to lead you to destruction because it's the easy way out. It's the crowd following trail. So you want to balance that, and that will, as you're learning to do these things and practicing, like anything that's new, when you head out to a gym, you don't put all the weights on the barbell the first day you go. You have to build that up. Well, being on the spiritual pathways is something you have to practice to get. Better wellness, better health is something you need to practice to get. And so, you do it by slowly replacing some of that meat with free range, cage-free meat. Some of those vegetables with organically grown vegetables. Fruit, same thing. Preparing more of the meals yourself so you can cut down on the sugar, and then you can replace the sugar. I don't generally use any sugar now. I mean, I use some molasses, which is a more natural form of sugar, but it's like if you can then you'll learn about like using applesauce that you've made yourself as a sweetener, and then there's less and less chemicals in the food when you're making it yourself. But you don't have to start by totally, like I said, you're going to practice this. You're going to build it up. your awareness, read the label. If you see something on there that you don't know what it is, it tends to be something that your body won't know what it is either. One of my rule of thumbs is, I like to say, and this isn't like written in stone, again, it's a learning thing, right? So it's easier. Don't eat anything on the label that has more than 3 syllables, except asparagus. And there was one other thing. Broccoli. No, that's 3. Anyway, so you don't want those chemicals, is what I'm getting at. And when you do eat bread, people are going like, don't eat bread crazy, but we've eaten bread for thousands of years. It's the kind of overly processed crap bread with yeast and junk, sugar and corn syrup and dough conditioners and preservatives. We don't need that stuff. Our bodies don't want that stuff. They're going to store it away. It's going to toxify your liver. That's why it gets so fattening. But if you use whole grains, when you're making your own bread, and you don't need yeast in everything that you eat, but if you are, when you're first starting, general rule of thumb that I teach people is just eat the darkest bread that you can stand. Okay? The more you need to chew it, like Wonder Bread that sticks to the top of your mouth, out. Get something that's chewier, that has more texture to it, that is darker, and that tends to have more whole grains in it. Now, they trick us. They add molasses to make it look like it's whole grain. And as I said, you need to read the label. So you'll learn to do that more and more as you get tricked, and say, okay, this is learning. You don't have to beat yourself up. I still eat chocolate, but I make my own chocolate. So it doesn't have half as much sugar in it. Because you'll find as you're eating more and more whole grains, as you're eating more and more healthy, like also get to the local farms. Get to your local farms and talk to the farmers, and a lot of times they'll sell you their extra meat and vegetables. You might teach yourself how to can stuff so that when the vegetables are in season, because that tends to be when a farmer, grows his own vegetables and it's in season, it's going to tend to be a lot more nutritious. And by getting to know your farmer, you know if they tend to be more organically minded, or do they put a bunch of chemicals on everything. There's natural fertilizers that our ancestors have been using for thousands of years. Everyone knows the story about the Indians teaching the pilgrims to put a fish in the ground with their corn seed. That's fertilizer, and that's a natural fertilizer, and you can still get fish fertilizer. I mean, you could go fishing and get your own fish, but they have a fish fertilizer. I'm saying you start at certain levels that you can affect change now. You can buy bread that's darker, and you can look at the label and see, does it actually have whole wheat in it? Does it have whole rolled oats are whole grain? Does it have sugars and diglycerides and preservatives, dough conditioners? You don't need that stuff. So that's one quick way that will help you to get better bread. So the darker the bread, the more fiber that's in it, the less glycemic it is once your body is digesting it. So still, moderation is key to lots of this stuff as you're learning to eat better, drink better, exercise better, think better. you'll be able to think more clearly. You'll start feeling more energetic. And I have other ways I can teach everybody about this, but I'm going to try to wrap this up so that we don't have an hour or two. And we'll cut this up into chunks. So, yeah, take your time, slow down. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be loving to you. And as you do that, it will be easier to be loving to others. Be forgiving. That's an important thing for us right now. And get ready, because if you've been a blabbermouth like me for the last couple, 3, 4 years, 10, 20, people are going to know that you've been more aware of this sort of information that they're just coming to realize is happening, or the lies that have been told to them. And they're going to come and ask you. And you have to trust me. You just need to stop and take a deep breath and don't say, but I told you 3 years ago. No one wants to hear, I told you so. And if they're reaching out to you, you need to be very careful. Remember, when a baby don't treat any grown up like a baby, but keep this in the back of your mind. When a baby starts to crawl, they're going to crawl for a while before they pull themselves up. And then when they pull themselves up, they're going to fall down quite a bit when they're first trying to walk. And when the baby falls down the first time, we don't say, I told you to walk and you just messed up, so just go away and don't try anymore and just sit there for the rest of your life. No, we encourage them and go, great, keep going. This is just the start. So you need to sort of picture, where were you when you were asking the questions that they're asking you now? Steer them towards things according to what they're already aware of. The fall of the cabal is a good place if someone already knows that, like, the media is lying, that the government is very corrupt. I mean, that the two parties is actually 90% one party. If they're starting to realize some of that stuff, the fall of the cabal is pretty darn good. But it's tough. It's even tough. I mean, it's, warn them. Just watch one or two of them and then just think about it. Maybe come back, talk to me, And if it gets too much for you, this is good advice for anybody that's digging into something that they've heard about, but now they're going to really investigate it. If it gets too much, come out. Holy Spirit, one time I was going into the deep underground military bases, down that rabbit hole with the children and the torture. And it got really bad. It gets, I mean, I don't think anybody can handle going down there too far for too long. And a few times, Holy Spirit said, come out, just come out. Go for a walk, take a break. It's just like it's just like losing too much time staring at the TV. I mean, if you're watching videos, you're staring at the TV or the computer screen or the phone. So you need to balance, I guess is the point here. Balance it. Healthy eating, great. But don't be obsessed by it. Balance it. Moderation, Have a cookie once in a while. But learn how to make cookies so you can make them more wholesome than what the store's trying to pawn off at you. Okay? Then maybe that's enough of that too. Why don't I stop? But I hope you enjoyed that. And like and subscribe and check out that link. Thank you very much for watching this. You are well loved. The creator of all things says you're the apple of his eye and that you're beautifully made. So come on. After that, who cares what someone else says about us? Just keep doing what's true, keep doing what's loving, and, don't forget to go and check out God's manual for our good health. That's called the Bible. Check that out. If you haven't read it for a while, go back to the Gospels. That's about, you open the Bible in the middle, and then you go a couple bunches of pages towards the right, maybe 3 little bunches of pages till you start finding Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. It's the beginning of the New Testament. It's a little bit over halfway through the Bible. So what's neat about those 4 Gospels is that you get to really see what Jesus says we're supposed to be living like. And it's very encouraging, and it's very challenging, and it's loving, and it's bold, and it's wise, and it's forgiving. Thank God. So I do hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to sign up for that free guide and get my newsletter so we can keep in touch no matter what else happens. And just remember that your wellness, your health, they're connected to your attitude, but your attitude is connected to what quality of food and drink and purity of water that you're putting into your body. And then your attitude will get better as you do some kind of simple exercising to start with. Walking is great, swimming is great, biking. Do something like that, and then it all comes together. And keep increasing your discernment, which is your understanding the difference between right and wrong. And it's more than that, but that's a good way to look at it. You increase your discernment by deepening that relationship through learning how to listen to Holy Spirit. Listen twice more than you speak. And together we will make 1984 fiction again. And we'll tell Big Brother to go pound sand. This is what we're doing. We're setting ourselves free from the snares and the lies of the twisted little liar and his tricked, rotten little minions. Some of those minions we are freeing. Some of the people who have been tricked by the fallen ones are still able to be saved. And that's part of what the truth is doing. The truth is setting us free, but saving souls. Because we're eternal beings. Okay? Love ya. Thanks again, and have a great day. And I know this is true. So come on back. My next video is coming out tomorrow. This is Andrew, the hiking druid, thanking you and saying goodbye and go do some good deeds.